The Masque of the Red Death. The Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had ever been so fatal or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal, the redness and horror of blood.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this spooky episode of Nolan Collects. Today we are going to review the Masque of the Red Death. This is the latest drop from Four Horsemen Studios, and I'm super excited to share this figure with you guys. This figure is actually an Edgar Allan Poe reference to the story The Masque of the Red Death. They actually included the story itself, which is pretty cool, and I actually ordered an all-in, so it came with a mug and a pin. But let's not waste any time here, guys. Let's take a look at this figure. Okay, folks, switching gears, we're now taking a look at the packaging itself. Beautiful artwork done by Nate Barch. You see Masque of the Red Death with the Four Horsemen logo. Starting on the right, we see the Figura Obscura. We see an awesome clock over here. We see the Four Horsemen logo. And on the back, there is a description, so feel free to pause that and read it. And on the left side, some beautiful artwork here, and we can see the window pictured in the story. All right, guys, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Wow, holy cow, guys. I gotta say, this looks really awesome. But what I'm impressed with is this right here, guys. Look at that. Here's the masquerade. I believe they represent the 7 deadly sins. Cool little background cardboard piece to have. And again, with the packaging, there's magnets here. Keep your packaging if you like this stuff, guys. I definitely will. And taking a look at the figure itself, guys, holy cow, this looks awesome. I love this presentation. I love this grandfather clock over here. But let's go ahead and look at the packaging. Look at this. So we see the party happening on the right side, and on the back, more artwork done by Nate Barch picturing the grandiose castle. But okay, guys, let's go ahead and flip the camera and open this thing up. So it looks like there are 2 sets of plastic holding everything in here and all the accessories, which we'll look at closely. So the grandfather clock itself comes in pieces. It comes with the main part right here, comes with the raven, and it comes with a little footing down here, so that's kind of cool. So a little assembly required. Overall, this is pretty awesome, and I really do love the fact that Four Horsemen Studios are adding a lot of diorama pieces to their figures. Okay, guys, and taking a look at the details, starting at the top, we have a raven over here, which is I'm pretty sure is a reference to the raven. More details of the grandfather clock over here. We got lots of rivet details. Here looks to be like a fauna or like a demon sculpt. And on the bottom, we got some feet. Other accessories includes some hands here. So we got some red hands and some normal hands. I believe these are going to be used or reused later with the Necronominous builder, the zombie builders, so these are pretty awesome. Another big standout is the blood splatter. There are 4 pegs on the blood, which you can connect with the clock, so you can use these both to display. Last accessory is a knife here, which I believe is used in the story to kill Prince Prospero, but this is pretty cool. I believe this is actually a new knife. Okay, guys, I just want to say first and foremost, I'm a big fan of this figure. My only thing is I wish there were a thicker wire all the way around so you can do any kind of pose that you want to with this, but the wire's a little thin, so you can do some stuff, but you can't do as much as you would probably expect. But it's actually not the end of the world. Regardless, you can still do some stuff if you scrunch these up, but the wiring is pretty thin. But a thicker wire would have definitely made this insane, guys. But I will say that this does look fantastic, guys. It still works, and I'm still going to use a lot of the cloth goods for some pop and swaps in the future. Overall, guys, I gotta say, this is a fantastic looking figure. CJ Jessam does a great job with Four Horsemen Studios and the tailoring, guys. So the soft goods comes in basically 2 parts. This hooded part is connected to the bottom robe, which we will take off in a bit so you guys can see how it looks. And there is like a toga piece, which I believe comes with the next cosmic alien. Not bad. It's cool to get this first and foremost. So I will say though, having this robe right here kind of limits the leg articulation a bit. So if you really wanted to do crazier poses, I would say you have to like snip the side so you can do some stuff, but not too bad overall. But anyways, let's take off the robe and let's show you guys the details in the body. Okay folks, here we go. We are now looking at the unrobed figure, and wow, this looks so cool. So first things first, I want to point out that everything is brand new. We have never received any of these parts in any prior Mythic Legion figures. We're pretty much getting the new undead zombie body. And right here you do get some new robed parts, which I really do like, and I could see a lot of really cool swaps with this. With the legs itself, you can see a lot of rotting flesh, so it is kind of hard to tell, but the toenails are painted. Right arm does have a slow fade into red. The other arm is just plain black. Let's go ahead and look at its articulation. Okay guys, moving along to articulation, there are a lot of improvements here, which I'm very excited to talk about. So starting off with the head, we have our typical ball joint, but what you may notice is that there's actually a hinge here, which allows for more dynamic poses. He could actually look down. You could actually force him to look down. Look at that, guys. Have him sad walking somewhere. Ooh. That little touch alone adds so much. So that tells me that the Four Horsemen is pretty cognizant about that. So not only has their sculpting improved, they're improving their articulation. Moving on to the arms, guys, there are some improvements as well I want to point out. So there is space for the hinge, which allows you to put the arm a little more straight, which is brand new and I love it. Something else with the elbow joint, guys, is there is a deeper bend. Look at that. So you can have something crazier here, which I love, guys. Look at that. How good does that look? We then have our wrists swivel and hinge up and down. Moving on to the waist, this is on a ball joint, so you have the ability to dance. Moving on to the thighs, there is a hinge and a swivel. The knees don't bend as much, so this is about as far as you're gonna go. And of course you got the ankle rocker over here with the swivel. So this is so cool, guys. Look at that. Yeah, overall, guys, this is fantastic articulation, and I'm really excited to see what the Four Horsemen does with their other figures. But this is awesome. Here's just a pose with some of the cloth goods on. Okay folks, I will show what's under the mask at the very end, but for now we are going to show some size comparisons to other figures in other lines. Right now we are looking at some figures from the Animal Warriors Kingdom from Sparrow Toys. We got Lesion on the left, and we got the Pale on the right. And here we go, we got the Red Death next to a couple of other figures in its same line, the Figura Obscura. We got the Left Monkey King, we got the Headless Horseman, we got the Red Krampus, and we got Santa Claus. So this line is definitely starting to fill up. And last up, guys, we have Demistros on the right. We have an Oni head custom figure from Immortal Collections, and we got one of my favorite figures from the Mythic Legions line. We got the Xylernian Guard. Alright guys, and the moment you've been waiting for is the reveal. So let's take off this mask and see what's underneath. Oh! Wait, zoom in.